Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'm speaking to you from Life, the Basic Manual, and this is our conclusion in our series of living and dealing with anxiety. So, if you haven't watched any of the other clips, I would urge you to go back and take a look. You're welcome to watch this one, but I think having all the information may help you to put it all together, may make a little bit more sense. So, thank you for joining us for this whole series, and I certainly hope that all the information that I've shared with you is helpful to you and that you can find a little bit of pieces here and there to take away to enhance your life. So now we've come to the conclusion, we've come to the good stuff. We have all this information. I've bored you with nerdy facts, and we know how our brain works, and you know a little bit more about me. We've had a bit of intimate conversations here, and now I want to share with you the good stuff. All of the stuff that you can take with you through your daily life and hopefully you can find some relief with. So there's a few different things I want to mention as well. My experience, all of the things that I have found that have worked for me, you're welcome to take them, use them, not use them, alter them, but they're certainly not a substitute for any professional or medical advice that you may be given. I have certainly sought out professional and medical advice through my process, and it's been a number of years and a lifelong process for me to determine what works for me. So please go and be curious, find what works for you, investigate what's best for you in your life. Now, a couple of tricks that I have used is meditation, yoga. I know that that's a pretty standard response. If you're someone who's not great at meditating or it just doesn't feel like it's your thing, I'd encourage you to dig a little bit deeper, be a little bit more curious about it. There's a number of different ways to meditate, and frankly, there's no wrong way to do it. So you can find information online, you can find information through podcasts. I actually have some favorite podcasts that I use for meditation. I listen to them when I'm about to take off on a flight or when I'm struggling to sleep. And sometimes meditation is great for things like pain or discomfort. So find what works for you. I particularly like a silent meditation, but you can use a moving meditation, you can exercise. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Now, let's talk about yoga for a second. I don't mean to imply that you should go out and change your entire wardrobe and eat granola and cardboard for dinner every night, but there is something to getting in touch with our bodies, activating the movement of our bodies and basically moving that energy around. You can do it through yoga, you can do it through exercise, get outside, breathe some fresh air, go hiking, do whatever feels good to you. Be in the water, be in nature. A couple of other tricks that I have found helpful through the somatic body experience is to get into our bodies immediately. Now, the quickest way for you to get grounded is to stand up. Take your shoes off. Feel the earth on your feet. Feel yourself being supported. If you can't stand up, sit down, just like I'm sitting now. Feel your seat against whatever it is you're sitting on, the chair, the sofa. Feel yourself being supported. Push your back and just relax into this spot that is safe and that is supportive and caring for you. It's holding you up. And if you can, take a moment and close your eyes and feel and identify where you might be having a response, a physical reaction. So in my case, I often find that it's in my chest or it's in my legs. I feel myself tightening up and I feel myself braced. See if you can stay with that feeling. See if you can move with that feeling. And if you feel twitchy, if your legs need to move, move them. There's no rules here. You have excess energy, and when we feel twitches, that's a good thing because our body creates electricity. It creates this extra energy, and as we twitch and as we fidget, we're releasing that electricity. We're releasing that excess energy. So go with it. Now, another thing that you can also try is looking around the room. And I know this sounds like a simple, basic thing, but when the reptilian brain is taken over, we want to basically let it know that it doesn't need to do what it's doing. We don't need to run. We're not being hunted. We're sitting on the couch watching Netflix, eating a bowl of popcorn. And frankly, our reptilian brain is getting in the way of us enjoying our evening at home. So we want to turn back our cognitive brain. Just like a printer that goes offline, we want to unplug it. We want to check all the cables. We want to restart it. Just give it a moment to shut off and to come back on again and work properly. So one of the easiest and fastest ways to ignite our cognitive brain is if we look around the room and we pick things out that are red. Now, the color of red is exciting, it's passionate, it's obvious, and it's a color that our cognitive brain really responds to. So go around the room and find things that are red. Touch them, write them down on a piece of paper. If you don't have paper, write it in the air with your finger and say them out loud what it is. And as we do this, it may seem very basic, but we're engaging all of our senses. We're engaging our senses of sight, sound, touch, all these different ways for us to basically get our brain back online again. And if you can't manage that because you're so overwhelmed and anxiety has just creeped in and you feel a sense of panic coming over, there's a couple other things we can do. So one of those is that we have different acupressure points and we want to release some of that energy. So for example, if you go here and you find the bone located right underneath your eyes, tap it. Just tap. Close your eyes and tap as long, tap as hard as you like. And basically what we're doing is right here we have a pressure point that relieves stress and anxiety. You don't need to wait for an appointment to go see a specialized holistic doctor. You can do this on your own. You can do this if you're in an airplane, if you're in traffic, or if you've got a big business meeting that you're feeling really nervous about. Go into the bathroom stall, tap on your little eye bone here, and just breathe. Breathing is the most calming, healing thing that you can do for your body. Take a deep breath in, close your eyes, count to 10, breathe out, and do it again. And if you say, but it's not working, it doesn't feel better, I'm still anxious, do it for longer. And just keep doing it. Find a way to be compassionate with yourself. And if you find it useful to talk to someone, talk to someone. You'd be amazed to find out how many people feel anxious. Talk to people that you feel safe with. Talk to people who understand what it feels like. Allow them to intervene in that process for you. When I have a full-fledged panic attack, the first thing I do is get on the phone. I find a way to distract myself, and I find a way to invite love and compassion into my life. So the last thing that I'll share with you, it's not a favorite, it doesn't feel good, but it is incredibly helpful in my experience, and that is I allow the anxiety to wash over me. We're so busy fighting these feelings. We're so busy fighting the sensations that we have. Oh my God, why am I feeling this way? Oh my God, my heart's beating. I'm sick to my stomach. I feel this, I feel that. Find a way to invite more of that in. I feel my heart pounding. Okay, I want to feel it pound harder. I feel like my stomach is in knots and I feel butterflies. I want to feel that even stronger. And as you invite this process in, you're basically taking the power back. That fear, that demon, that monster that comes over us where we can't think clearly and everything feels really scary, as we take that power back, it gets smaller and smaller and goes back under the bed, hides back in the closet where it came from, and you can come back to life again. Now, the very last piece that I want to share with you is so much of this for me has to do with compassion, has to do with safety, has to do with the way that I speak to myself. I was someone who grew up in a house that wasn't safe. I had a pretty traumatic upbringing, and feelings of safety and protection, I didn't actually know what that was. And I was searching for so long to feel safe. And it's a gift that I can give to myself now. And frankly, it's a gift that you can give to other people too. As a mom, I sometimes think about what I would say to my children when they're suffering, when they're fearful, when they've been denied by a girl for a high school dance. What is it that I say? And if you're not a parent, think about someone that you love deeply, innocently. Think about them being in pain, having an unrealistic fear, getting themselves twirled and spun in all different directions. What would you say to them? What tone of voice would you use when you speak to them? How would you touch them? And do that for yourself. If you need to give yourself a hug, do it. Put your hand over your heart. Feel the heat from your hand, offering nurturing and compassion and reassurance. Tell yourself and speak to yourself in the tone that you would do for somebody else who needs that. You can offer yourself your own protection. You can offer yourself your own safety, so that when we go out into the world and we feel anxious, we're really okay with it, because we don't need anybody else to accept us. We don't need anybody else to make us okay, because that's our job and we're capable of it. We have that ability. We're able to have relationships where once we fled from them. We're able to meet people where once we used to hide out and be isolated. Some days we'll come to the table anxious. Some days we'll come to the table confident. But the fact is, we came to the table. The fact is that we are strong, independent people who are able to rise above these feelings that we have, because now we have the information. We know what the brain's doing. We know that it's functioning exactly the way that it's supposed to. And we have our own little tips and tricks that we can take out into the world with us. So I wish you joy. I wish you peace. I wish you calmness. And I wish you a sense of curiosity for your own happiness, for your own tips, for your own little tricks that work just right for you. So thanks so much for being with us along this journey, and I encourage you to share your journey with other people in the process. Thank you.